Hey y'all, it's Cassandra with Pecan Porch Boutique. Got another little trash to treasure video for you. My sister found this cute little 2-drawer buffet at Goodwill, and she only paid $17 for it, y'all. So, and it's in really good shape, actually. It's just a little dusty from sitting out under my carport. Has a couple of scratches on the top, but nothing serious. So, you guys know we're just going to start with a good little cleaning. So my theme for this piece is going to be whimsical. I'm going to go whimsical with this piece. And my inspiration I am taking from the decoupage paper Made by Marley. Made by Marley is great papers. They are a little bit more substantial than regular tissue paper, so you don't have to paint white underneath them. It kind of saves your step. And you also get 3 papers with each of the papers. You're going to see that I'm first going to start just taking off the edges of each paper because it is easier to blend into a jagged edge than it is into a straight edge. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just going to rip the edges off of each one, and then I'm going to get started laying those down. I almost forgot to tell you the name of this paper. It's called Rare Finds. And also, while we're here, I just want to let you guys know that you can find all of the products that I'm using on my website at www.pecanporchboutique.com. So for this decoupage paper, I think I mentioned that it is a little bit more substantial than regular tissue paper. So I'm going with Mod Podge to lay it down. And I'm just going to be laying it down with my hand, although I may get a few wrinkles, but that's okay. I'm just going to lay down my Mod Podge. I am going to then just lay the paper into it and smooth it out with my hands, making sure to be particularly careful around the edges. I'm going to be putting all 3 papers on top of the piece and kind of separating them, kind of trying to make them a little bit even, but not too even. And I love the way you don't have to put white paint under this. Did I say that already? Because the papers are a little bit thicker, so that saves you a step. Okay, now it's mold making time. I'm going to be using quite a few molds from various molds. And these are all IOD molds, and I'm also going to be using the IOD air dry clay. So I'm going to be using some molds from the Roses mold, Dainty Flourishes mold, Toadstool mold, the Dewdrop Pond mold, He Loves Me mold, the Wings and Feathers mold, and the Monarch mold. So yeah, I'm going on a mold making marathon, y'all. Okay, now that they're all ready, it's time to get these bad boys on this piece. And I'm doing these in vertical along the legs, so you know they're gonna be sliding everywhere. And they did slide because I didn't have any of my blue tape and I had to use some of that cheap dollar store tape. But that's okay, I got them up there. I'm gonna be using Tight Bond Quick and Thick for the glue. And I'm just gonna be putting them on with one of those foam brushes that you can toss away, making sure that I get enough glue on. But I always have a bad habit of putting on too much glue, but just enough so that your mold sticks, and making sure to get all the way up to the corners. So here we go. I'm going to start with the roses mold on this particular leg up to the top. So at first I started to take a little damp brush and I was gonna like get the excess glue off. And then I quickly stopped that because I thought by the time I get through with all these layers on this piece, I ain't gonna even know that there was no glue running out. So I'll skip that step and just keep putting the molds on. And here we are, phase one is complete. We have our decoupage paper on and we have our molds on. These will sit overnight and then we can get started with the painting. All right, for those of you who have watched me for a while, you guys know that I love layers. So we are going in with layer number one. I'm going to be using all DIY paints, and this particular one is my base coat, and this is DIY's black velvet. So my goal is to kind of get up close to and maybe also kind of encroach just a little bit on the decoupage papers, just to kind of camouflage that edge. So that is what I'm going to be doing here, and I'm going to be going over everything in this black velvet base coat. This is where we have landed. Base coat is all down. Now I will have to go back with a little artist brush and get some of the more intricate pieces of those molds, because that big brush and that stippling motion that I was using isn't going to get into all the little crevices. But I'll go back with a little artist brush and catch those pieces later on. But it's looking plain right now, right? But hey, we got to start somewhere. We're going to keep moving. All right, so our next coat, we are going to use the Midnight Garden. And Midnight Garden is kind of a deep foresty green. And I thought it would go really good with some of the elements in the decoupage paper, the leaves and ferns and grasses. But I'm not doing a complete full coat because I don't want to cover up all of that black base coat. but I am doing, you can see it kind of coming through in different places, but I did get that green all over. And so this is where we are now with layer number 2. Oh, and if y'all catch a glimpse of my nightcap in the video, no, I was not about to spring from my bed to see what was the matter. It was late at night, y'all, so I put my nightcap on, but I was still working though. But anyway, we have got the green on now, and that is layer number 2. Okay, we are still layering, y'all. So layer number 3, I am using Sandy Blonde, and I'm gonna use this little sponge that I have, and it'll kind of give a little bit of a different kind of texture. I'm always using that stippling motion with the brush that gives texture, but this sponge kind of gives a different kind of texture. So I'm gonna be really watering this Sandy Blonde down to kind of make a wash, and I'm going to be putting it on with this sponge. Well, yes, indeed. The Hot Mess Express has rolled into the train station, y'all. Yeah, it looks crappy. It looks crappy right now, but we are going to pull it all together. So this is where we are. This was layer number 3. So let's keep going. Right, I wanted to create kind of a rust look and kind of pull out some of those deeper colors that I see in the decoupage paper. So I created a custom color using Carnival Red, some Summer Crush, which is an orange, Layered Chocolate, which is a dark brown, and some Liquid Sunshine, which is a yellow. That is what I used to create this custom color. And now I'm going back for another layer, and this time I'm going to use a stencil. And this is my leopard print stencil. I figured, this is kind of forestry, so I mean, we need a little round in the forest, don't we? So that's why I'm using my leopard print stencil. And I'm going to kind of I'm not going to do it all over. I'm just going to do little spots here and there. And I'm going to get close to the decoupage paper. And again, every time I get close to the decoupage paper, I am camouflaging the lines around that paper. Y'all can see I'm using my favorite stenciling tool again, and that's this little makeup brush. I love this thing for stenciling, and I'm also doing the stencil in Layered Chocolate as well. So that custom color really pulled everything together. I made it watery so it was more like a wash, and then I just used my shop towel to dab it back. And so it gave an opportunity for those other colors underneath to come through. And then I added a little bit of wilderness with my leopard print stencil. I did it on the top, I did it on those drawers, and also on the bottom. And now I'm going to be using this little set of frames and letters by IOD. It's called Apothecary Labels. And it is the cutest thing. These little mini letters and these little mini frames, stamps. They're stamps. And each of them, you get 4 in the package. And each comes in its own little envelope. How cute are they? So this is the one I'm going to be using. And see, it has its own little cute envelope. Okay, I'm going to be using some crafting glue or bonding glue and some of the StazOn ink. Now, this was not my idea. I saw one of the other creators using this and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. But here's a warning. If you don't want your letters wonky, then you want to make sure you use a thin mount or something. But I'm just going to put a little bit of that glue on my pointer finger, and then I'm going to take these letters and I'm going to spell different words. I'm going to stick the little bitty letter on my finger, dab it over in the ink, and then put it on the piece, on each of the drawers. I'm putting the words on the drawers, little words on the drawers, and I'm using my finger to do that. Now, I can't get that straight, okay? I mean, I'm never going to put my finger in the same place each time. So I want these to be wonky, and I am actually kind of purposely making them even more wonky. So, but again, if you want them straight, you can use just a little bitty piece of mylar of some sort or thin mount, and you can get yours straight. But that's what I'm doing. On the first drawer here, I'm spelling the word junk, and I am just taking off each letter. I already have the little tacky glue on my finger, and I'm sticking the letter on my finger and dabbing it into the ink and spelling the word on the drawer. Believe it or not, y'all, we are getting close to being finished with this piece. My next thing I'm going to use, because I'm going to continue with the whole whimsical theme, I'm going to be using IOD's Whispering Willow Transfer. So you'll see me just kind of taking off some of these. I've already kind of cut them off, the ones that I want to use. So now I'm just going to cut them off and place them on the top of this piece. So the transfer is just going on the very top of the piece. And I have already sealed over the top of the piece. I kind of like to put my transfers down on a sealed surface. They just go on easier. So I've already sealed once on the top of the piece. I'm going to put my transfers on, and then I will seal over the top 2 more times. Also, I am using DIY's liquid patina to seal this whole piece, just in case. I don't think I mentioned that, but you can use any water-based top coat. You can even wax the piece once you get your transfer on it. I typically don't use wax, especially on tops of pieces, because wax will eventually break down, and I sell my pieces, so I want to make sure that they're durable. So I use top coat. So you can use any water-based top coat you want, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be the liquid patina. And now I want to give my moles a little bit more definition. So I'm just coming back with some little bit of paint on a brush and doing some dry brushing. This, I'm trying to pull out some of the colors that are in that decoupage paper as well. So that's what I'm doing here. Just a little dry brush on the high points of each mold, just to give it a little bit more definition. Okay, y'all, I was really feeling my Wheaties now. So I went back to my Silhouette Cameo machine and I created the word brocante and I created a stencil out of it. So that's what this is here. I had to go back to YouTube University to figure out how to use it because I hadn't used it in so long. But I figured it out. So I have cut out the word brocante and I'm using this as a stencil. And what I'm doing now is I'm painting in the letters and I'm using a metallic paint, gold metallic paint. Those of you that know me know I love gold. So I'm using a gold metallic paint. I'm using the metallic paint because I'm going to seal over the top of it. And whenever you use your paint, your metallics first and seal over the top, it takes a little bit of the shine off of it. But I figure if I use metallic, it'll still be somewhat shiny, but maybe not as shiny, but it will do. And here we go, y'all. This is all finished. What do y'all think? I absolutely love it. And look, you guys are going to have to look at those gold mushroom handles. I mean, I could not help but get those. So this is so pretty, I think. Look at all of the layers that we put on, including the stencil and the transfers. That decoupage paper is just phenomenal. It has so many colors in it. And here are the molds with the colors from the decoupage paper, and then our gold word brocante. So brocante is a French word that means secondhand goods, just in case you wondered. I had to look it up. So I think this really turned out pretty, y'all. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. And I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, maybe leave me a comment, and I would love it if you would follow my page. So until we see each other again, don't forget to bud, bloom, and be unique. Until next time, bye guys.